Hello everyone, I'm Clara Amfo and welcome to a very special event held by Tedbaker and Keychange. Now, this event is all about celebrating the music and the musicians who've helped us get through the past 18 months. In particular, we are celebrating the party that was the Tedbaker Street Party Session. So this was an exclusive thing that Tedbaker did with Alakai Harley, Bastille, Joy Crooks, Little Sims and Jungle. It was a really, really special event. We did it back in August and it was not only a celebration of those artists, but the creative innovators behind the scenes. And I got to spend time catching up with them, finding out about how they put together the event, which was really, really special. So as part of this campaign, Tedbaker have hooked up with Keychange, who are on a mission to support underrepresented women and gender minority groups from across the world. And every year they pick 12 individuals from different countries to support them to the next level of their creative journey, really. And one of those people who's done that is a good friend of mine. Like I said before, I'm in the presence of greatness, Jamz. Very happy that you're here. The incredible Jamz Supernova. So Jamz is a DJ, a label manager, a broadcaster who can be heard across BBC Radio 1 Extra, Six Music, The Selector. You're worldwide, basically.
Thank you.
Jamz, you're about. First up, how are you? How you doing?
Oh, wow, that was a great intro. I'm watching a pro at work.
Oh, please, please.
Taking tips.
Now, me and Jamz essentially started out in the industry around the same time, really. We both met at 1 Extra, I think coming up to eight or 9 years ago. And you've just gone from strength to strength in your career. But I want to talk to you specifically about how Keychange has played a part in your journey. So how did you first hear about the programme?
So I did the programme in 2018, so we were like their guinea pigs and they had just announced it and they'd asked a selection of us to apply for it. So I applied for it and got onto the scheme, and it was amazing because it was the first time they'd done anything like it, and I got to go to so many different places. So I went to Estonia, I went to Bilbao in Spain, I went to Iceland, and I got to be around amazing women, all from Europe, and a lot of those women I still to this day speak to or have been in contact with since.
It's really amazing, isn't it? Because I think, as we've come up in the dawn of the internet, it's given us access to all these different cultures and all these different people. Look, you mentioned, meeting all these people from different walks of life, and that's the thing about Keychange. It focuses solely on Europe and bringing through underrepresented women. What did you learn about the different people that you met?
I learned just about their resilience and how they each, in each of their fields, there was a mixture of us. Some people, I kind of fell a little bit in the middle. Some people were specifically artists, performers, and some people were specifically behind the scenes. And I was kind of like in that middle margin, so I was able to pull from both. Yeah. And they, just the way their resilience and the way that they'd find sort of solutions around things and the conversations and the debates that they were having. And I was just really inspired actually by especially a lot of the women that were coming out of Berlin, the way that they use technology and how tech was really at the forefront. It was the first time I ever heard about blockchain. And I was like, what's blockchain? Now we're talking about all the, all the things that you can buy digitally now, but they were talking about that 3 years ago. So just the conversation really and the resilience from them.
How's that changed your creative process, would you say, being around all that different energy?
I think it makes me want to do things differently. It makes me want to question the way things are done, or like when I'm sure you experienced it, or watching at home might have experienced, when people have traditions, they're like, well, we don't do it like that. It makes me want to be like, well, why? Yeah. Like, why don't we just rip up the rule book? Why don't we just try it differently? So that's kind of makes me more fierce.
And would you say that being around all those other artists as well, did it frustrate you as well? Because I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like we know as women in the music industry that often you can't be taken as seriously as the next person. And being around people that have experienced the same thing as you, did that put some fire in your belly? So when I say frustrate you, did it put some fire in your belly kind of hearing about their struggles as well? Yeah,
definitely, and kind of made me think about my role and what more I can do with my label or when I curate things, who I can be putting on. And there was one really interesting conversation that I think really benefited another artist that was part of the Keychange scheme. Was they had been performing and they were performing at the Icelandic Airways, and it was an amazing performance. They were talking about toxic masculinity and really had the crowd in their hand, but their band was all white men.
Interesting.
And that someone picked up on it and said to them, love what you were speaking about, love your music, but the optics aren't matching up here.
The math isn't mathing.
The math isn't mathing. And then fast forward 3 years, they got all female band and they look incredible on stage. It's fierce, it's like powerful, it's like in your face, and you know, had someone from one of those other countries not been so forward and said it, maybe that wouldn't have happened.
It's so interesting, isn't it? Because I think, you know, often we always get asked, you know, what one piece of advice would you give a woman trying to get into the industry now, which I am going to ask you, by the way. But there are so many layers to what can affect your journey. And it's interesting what you said about that person before, like the fact that she didn't even think about who was in her band, but maybe she didn't have the choice to think about
exactly,
that.
Of course. You know? Yeah, who can afford to come? Who can afford to be out there?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of different sort of layers, and I think it's about understanding the privileges we have, the privileges we don't have, and being open to speak about them with each other. And that's what the trip was about, the trips.
Well, this is it. I mean, when it comes, and here's the question, when it comes to advice, I'll try and make it as simple as possible, because I think, you know, it's such a layered question, isn't it? Like, what advice would you give him? Because again, everybody's journey is different. But I would say, as a broadcaster, what advice would you give a young woman trying to enter now? Because it still feels, especially with radio, it's still very male dominated.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one. It's because we were in bubbles, and some of our areas that we work in, the bubbles are very diverse and gender split. But then you step out of that, and you might go into a place that's a bit more established, that's been around for a longer time, and then suddenly you're one of one. Yeah. And then you have to kind of deal with that. So I think the advice that I would give is to find a support network first. Yeah. Because you can't let your minority hold you back from walking into those rooms. You still got to walk into those rooms. So you might be one of one. You might have to wear the brunt of what's going to come at you. Yeah. But you need a support network. Yeah. And I've lent on you at times and been like, oh, you know, this person, this is coming at me on Twitter. This is happening. Yeah. And you've been like, right, this is how you're going to deal with it, you know, or not deal, or actually we're not going to give time to this. So build a really strong support network and talk about what you are going through, because I think holding it in is when mental health comes into play. Absolutely. And that can then, you know, affect your professionality, your work and environment. So yeah, support network. And then I would just, you know, kind of, I guess, it's a bit of a weird one, but I always try not to think about the fact that I'm a woman and that I'm black. Like, I know those things. I know them instantly. You know, I know that I don't have to think about it when I walk into the room. When I walk into the room, my chin's up here. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I hold my chin really high. And I don't actually see what people are saying down there. Because if I was to allow myself to, then I don't think I would be able to get through what I need to do. So I think it's like walking into the room, know that you are really important and you are needed in that room and you are valued, and it's time for your voice to be heard. There's a reason why they brought you in, so make them know that that's why you're there, and don't feel afraid to pull people up.
Do you know what, you picked up on two really valid and important things there, because as women, we are constantly told to shrink us, or anybody who identifies as femme in any way, shape or form, you're told to shrink yourself, you know, and it can make you doubt your place. It can make you doubt your place in the room, and I think that is a reason why so many, you know, women and femmes, I think, are probably afraid to enter the industry, even if they know they've got talent and they know they've got something to share and to give, because it's like, well, you know, you're only here because and you said something to me brilliantly the other day, and I've told everyone this, like everyone that that is going through something similar, and it's like, don't think that you weren't good enough 5 years ago. Yeah, you were good enough 5 years ago. Just because you might be because the conversations have changed or ideas have moved forward, you might be getting opportunities. That doesn't mean you weren't good enough 5 years ago. So take them, but know that you know, just know. So. Absolutely. Yeah. And also, I liked what you said about just talking to other people, because I think, again, going back to the whole idea of having to shrink yourself, because, you know, women are told, like, not to be too loud because you'll be seen as being aggressive, not to be too assertive because you'll be seen as being like, oh, bitch, or whatever. But I think women do need to talk with each other, because I think it's the silence and it's the assumption that everybody else has got something going on better than the next person, and that's where no progress is made, you know? Exactly, and you can rally behind each other and you know, take each other to that next level. Now talk to me about live performance, because obviously we had the street party sessions. They were they were so incredible. Like, I mean, we were talking about Alakai's performance before. How, like, she looked amazing. I wanted to be in that video. Right? She looked sick, like Sims, Joy, Bastille. Like they all smashed it, and it was just really edifying to see people be in their element and in their bliss. Obviously, you've done every festival going. All Points East, Glastonbury, like your own club night. You do it all. Like, what's it been like for you getting back to live performance? I mean, not to make this your whole sole purpose, but obviously you're about to be somebody's mother. Yes. And I know that you and your partner DJ'd back to back. back.
Yeah, we
So
did.
Baby's first DJ set.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Baby's been everywhere. Been at We Out Here Festival. You know, been on every stage you can imagine. All the bass. But do you know what? This has been my best run of live performances out of my whole career. And I don't know whether it's a mixture of not having, you know, having it taken away, or it's coming back and not caring as much, you know, coming back and being like, this is what I play, this is how I play, this is how I'm going to work it, you know. It's been amazing. I've had some really, and I've been sober. I guess that's another thing. I've like had some really euphoric moments.
Great work.
Yeah, you know. I would never have thought it, but it's taught me a lot. I can go on stage, I can perform, I can be on mic, I can be confident and not have to drink, and then come off and feel as alive, if not more alive. And I've been really like there and present and in tune. And the music that I've been able to play to the audiences has been, you know, I've played songs that I never thought I'd get to play, like weird, you know, like some like South African deep piano meets techno with weird squelches, and everyone's like, what is that, you know? So
it's you.
Yeah, it's me. And I've had a lot of fun. It's been amazing.
And I want to talk about the energy from the crowd as well, because, you know, the reason why we did the street party sessions is because, you know, people haven't been able to go out for the past 18 months, and, you know, this was something that people could enjoy from the comfort of their own home. But, you know, slowly but surely, people are leaving. People are going out to the club. What has the energy been like for like those people that, you know, always come to the front of the decks? Like, did you miss it? And also, what's it been?
They're so up for it. I think like it's actually even better, because I think people won't take it for granted. I think people can sometimes be, especially when you're in inner cities, big cities, they're spoilt for choice, you know. So often, if you've played in London, you can go and play in another city, and you can really feel the harshness of London sometimes. Someone like this at the front, but like now I feel like because they haven't had it, they've just been really like up for it. You know, lose their inhibitions, dancing more free. Like I've had flowers given to me, like
flowers in the rain.
Flowers in the rain.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been wicked. And, you know, you catch someone. You know, I've been more confident to look up and catch someone's eye and be like, yes, you like this one? Okay, cool. Like, yeah, they've been really up for it, really fun, and I think respectful. There's a lot of respect on the dance floor. A lot of giving each other space, looking out for one another, checking on one another. So I think there's a nice community.
Oh, Richard, that makes me really happy to hear that, and seeing your face as you speak about it. So
I love it. I do love it. I love it so much. Yeah.
So Jamz, what's next?
Oh, what's next? This is next, and then
the new release.
The new
dropping
release
soon.
Yeah, dropping November sometime, and then take a couple of months off, but then come back in February and kind of. I think the main focus will be just solidifying the Six Music show, because it's been a new journey and I'm loving it. The label's going into like its next phase. We've signed loads of talent for next year, so expect loads of consistent releases. I want to tour as me, as Jamz, and go back to the clubs and go back to basics. It's like a UK Europe tour.
Yes.
And a podcast. Yeah, season 2 of my podcast.
Right on. Yeah. Listen, she's booked and busy.
I'm booked and busy, yeah.
Jamz, thank you so much.
Thank you, babe.
Looking forward to your DJ set.
Yeah.
Jamz Supernova, I told you, I'm in the presence of the greatness.
Oh, stop it, I'm blushing. I'm getting hot. Thank you.